Well, Merry Christmas Eve to you. This is Chris Hare, the world champion crypto cowboy, bringing you an update on Polkadot. And I think it's pretty interesting what's going on right now. If I didn't know any better, I think we were getting ready for a run. Bitcoin's trying to find a floor as well. It all looks pretty interesting to me, and we're going to break it down. I'm going to start in that hourly chart, move all the way through a 4-hour, a daily, and a weekly chart. I'm going to give you some longer and shorter term targets. But we're going to figure out what's going on with Polkadot today. But let's get into it. We'll start off with the crypto fear and greed index, just like we do every single video. Currently at a 25, this measures market sentiment. It tells us if people are scared or if they're greedy. What's going on right now? People are scared. We have moved up out of extreme fear. But I use this to make spot purchases. This is how I do my spot trading. Basically, when we drop into fear, I start dollar cost averaging. Every time we drop down a little lower, I buy a little more. When we drop down to extreme fear, I up that percentage that I buy just a little bit. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. I've got a BTCC exchange pulled up here. I've dollar cost averaged about $400 into Bitcoin, Solana, and Ethereum. We're currently about $14 in the hole. But like I said, I hold on to these for a while. Then when they get into greed, I sell them off. It's a strategy that's worked really well for me. So I want you guys to see how it works. But if you need a good exchange to trade on, I always recommend having more than one. BTCC is an amazing exchange. You'll find a link in my description. 10% cash back on your first time deposit up to $100,000. That means you put $100,000 in, you get $10,000 back in free money. You get better exchange trading fees using my link. So go ahead and check it out. BTCC, it's a great exchange. If nothing else, go get you some free money. Altcoin season index, since it's relevant to Polkadot, we've been flatlined at about 37 for a while now, and it's just kind of waffled up and down all the way through November and into December. What I think is altcoins have been in a bear market for quite some time, way back at 88, back in December, and then I feel like we've been in a bear market ever since. Things didn't run when Bitcoin ran this year, so it begs the question, what's really going on? We never have dropped back into a full-blown Bitcoin season, but we're a long way from altcoin season. But we'll figure out in the charts exactly what's going on. I've got some pretty interesting information for you. Moving on to a liquidation heat map. This is what I use before I check charts. Before I open a trade, I always go to my liquidation heat map because this is what market makers use to track your liquidity. They don't really use TA. They move the charts by running up and down, chasing your short and long trade liquidation points. Everything to the top side is a short trade. Everything to the price action to the bottom side is a long trade. Currently, you've got about $4.3 million worth of short trades on the books and about $2 million worth of long trades on the books. So the imbalance is to the upside. We've came down and grabbed some liquidity. There's a little more to grab down to about $1.70. Question begs, is that where we're going, or are we finding a floor? But we're going to get into the charts. We're going to figure out exactly what's going on. And here we have it. Polkadot on the 1 hour. I post all these charts in the crypto school. You'll also find a link to that in my description. Give signals from time to time. And I do post all the charts. There's a great lineup of coaches. Go ahead and check it out. If you really want to learn to invest or you really want to learn how to trade, the crypto school is the place to be. All right, getting into this hourly chart, you can still see we're still below these 50 moving averages and have been for quite some time. That takes 50 of these candles, puts a fluid line on the chart, works as excellent support and resistance. We're in this retracement zone right now, and we've gone down. We came down this morning to about $1.72.5, and then came back up, reclaimed this, but now we're working on a retest. If we can reclaim this and start working up, I think you're headed towards $1.18, $1.84. From there, I think you head to $1.92, $1.97 in the shorter term. If for some reason we lose this and we lose this $1.72 region, I think these extensions are in play, $1.68 to $1.62. But the short term, it looks like there could be some downside. But when you get into the longer term charts, that's where I start thinking we might be going up. We have double bottomed right here at about $1.72.5, like I said. Now we're working up. We're in a 4-hour retracement extension, so there's really not a lot more downside you can have without working out some upside first. The 50 moving averages sit at about $1.82 to $1.94. We could go up there and reject and come down a little further. There's not a lot further you can go. We'll get into that in the daily charts. If we can find support above these 50 moving averages, I think you're headed to your golden zone. 214 to 225 would be your first targets, and then it questions where do you go from there. You've got some fair value gaps up here, but your extensions sit at 258 to 282. And then you've got the daily chart, and this is where I have questions. You can see the wick from the flash crash back Friday, October 10th. Market makers like to fill about 50 to 80% of these out. The 786, which is 78.5% of the move, sits at $1.53. I don't know that you can go much lower in that. My concern is your extensions are at negative 52 cents, so that's a zero. Even if you double bottom this wick, you're wicking out at about 63 cents. That's not a lot of distance from $1.54, maybe a 1x. What's going on here? Are we getting ready to make a run up, or is Polkadot dead and going to zero? This is basically when these things fan out like this. If you follow Elliott wave theory, that's basically a wave 5 move. And here we are, the daily retracement zone right at the bottom of this wick. Weekly retracements are down negative 238, like I said, so I think you've either got one of two things happening. You're double bottoming and these altcoins are about ready to run, or Polkadot's dead. If we can bounce somewhere in here in this daily retracement zone, $3 to 486 on a weekly chart's your next stop, then 766 to 957, $15 to $19 if Bitcoin makes some kind of run. If we're like in a shorter bear cycle or whatever's going on, I don't know. It's all very interesting. But that's going to give you a pretty good update on Polkadot. That's going to kind of give you an idea of what's going on. I really feel like we're at a bottom. And I'm trying to keep a bias out of this because Bitcoin could dump tomorrow and send everything into the depths of not much more they could go. But I don't know. Maybe we range here through the first of the year and start working up into Q1, or maybe we start taking off the end of this month. I don't know. It's just really interesting to me, but I really think there's some kind of bottom being put in here. So I'll circle back around here in a day or two, figure out exactly where we've gone and where we're going to go from there. I'll get back. I'll do another video. I really appreciate it. Go ahead and like and subscribe. Tap that bell notification and leave us a comment. It helps the YouTube algorithm. And I really enjoy hearing from you people. But I'm going to wrap this one up for today. I'm Chris Hare, the world champion crypto cowboy. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you down the road.